All right, cool. So, welcome to my channel. I'm doing another video, political video. Just some thoughts in my head. Just because, like I said, this political times got me thinking. These political times got me thinking. Really, questioning the status quo and the direction of where this country is going. Because I've been thinking, like, well, maybe I should leave. Where should I leave to? Where is it better? I don't know. Should I stay? Should I stay or should I go now? Dun 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 dun. So, I want to talk about education. All right. Just to give you guys a background, brief background, I uh, have been educated. I have 5 years at the Santa Barbara City College. Got my AA in Music and Liberal Studies. I got my bachelor's at UCSB Music Composition, College of Creative Studies. Got my master's in Fine Arts from California Institute of the Arts with music composition. So I studied music because that's what my passion was, and I wanted to pursue that. And I was thinking about being a film composer, something along those lines. But that didn't really turn out the way I wanted to. And I honestly, I was doing hip hop in high school, and I'm doing hip hop now. So it's in my blood. I'm not gonna stop. But now it's like, well, I still gotta make a living somehow, and doing music, it's tough. It's an entrepreneurial type of profession. So, anyways, so I've been educated in actually really good schools, um, California, uh, and I've taken a lot of classes. I've been in school for like 9 years, 10 years, and I'm not an idiot. Unfortunately, I may sound like an idiot, I might act like an idiot, but I don't think like an idiot. So there you go. Um, and a lot of courses, and I've noticed that a lot of people probably touched on this, but there's a lot of liberal study stuff. And I remember, they got Chicano studies and black studies and Asian studies and all this studies, and you really think about it, um, you know, it's not really utilitarian. Neither is music, too, unfortunately. Um, there's when you hit the job market, that shit doesn't help you, and then some people get impressed that you have an education and whatever, but after you go through it, the education process, you realize how, I hate to say this, but how really uh, how really meaningless it is in the real world. Meaning that, um, at the end of the day, again, you have to earn a living. You have to earn a living, and all the ideological uh, shit that you learned in college doesn't fucking matter worth a goddamn dime, because people don't pay you for that. People pay you to be nice and help customers and make money. That's pretty much, you got to learn some type of skill and interact with customers, commerce, you know what I'm saying? At some level, you gotta make some type of sales transaction at some level, right? And you're gonna get a job that does that at some level, right? Every single job, you have to interact with customers at some level, right? And we could talk about like some exceptions or whatever, but it really does come down to it. You got to sell something, right? Um, and I remember, like, when I was going to Cal Arts, I thought, like, why don't they have more like entrepreneurial classes or business classes or whatever? And they didn't. And they didn't. I don't remember them having that at all. Uh, and I remember, like, I think that the dean or something like that, they didn't want that. They didn't want business type classes. Um, and I don't know if that was a completely accurate statement, but that's what I remember. um, I remember I was trying to teach a tango, Argentine tango class at Cal Arts because I danced Argentine tango for a long ass time, and I went to Argentina. I really loved it, and I wanted to teach that class as a class, you know. But I remember they didn't do that. They didn't want me to teach it as an official class, so um, I did it anyways. I said fuck it. I had my own little class, and they had posters, and people came. People came to the class, and I got support from the dance department, and I was able to use one of their dance rooms. Yeah. So there you go. Boom. I don't need permission from anybody, Cholo, because I'm a man on fire, Cholo. I'm Denzel Washington, Cholo. I walked in and I said, fuck that shit. I did it myself. But anyways, and I remember I had like, but anyways, I remember I think I made some suggestions or something like that. But anyways, it was like it was really it was really weird. It was really weird there, because of that. Because it's like, wow, you have all these students who are gonna graduate from Cal Arts, which is an art school, very liberal. Um, and what are they gonna do? And I remember I used to work at the financial aid office, and I'd have like parents come in for like meet and greet day or whatever, and they would ask me questions and stuff like that. And then they were worried. They were like asking me like, "Well, what are you like? What blah 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 blah?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. It's up to them, man. It's like, well, if they're in the animation program, they'll probably get a job at Disney or something like that. But everybody else is, good luck." um, like artwork in general is like entrepreneurial, right? But anyways, that's my background. But anyways, I've actually had a really good education in the sense that I was able to study what I was passionate about, and I took it very seriously. I studied a lot, and I went to party schools, but I didn't really party when I was there. I partied when I was at City College, um, but then I got serious, and then that's when I started getting A's in my classes. When I became a serious student and stopped fucking around. Um, but I've seen a lot of things, and like I said, I'm reflecting on it, and I'm reflecting that what, unfortunately, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's great if you're studying something that you're passionate about, but the reason why I say it's a waste of time is because it's so difficult in the sense that the way it's structured in upper academia, because you have semesters or quarters or whatever, and they scrunch it together, and you're taking multiple classes, and then you got to figure out how are you going to pay for it, and blah 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 blah. And then you got this atmosphere where it's a bunch of knuckleheads. Some people are serious, some people are not, and all the drama that comes with that, the alcohol and the drugs and the rape and all this shit. That's a real thing. Um, uh, and so, anyways, and I could make an argument. Well, there are useful things in that you can learn in school and get a job, and that may be true. But like when I also thinking about it, I just recently did a coding boot camp, right, for web coding, and that was like a 3 month program, and it was 20 grand. I want to say 25 grand. No, it was 15 grand. I took a 10,000 loan on top of it for living expenses that I have to pay off pretty soon. Um, but it goes to show you that even if you studied like computer science or whatever, or like a hard ass like subject, now they have, well, now I mean they have like a vocational school where you can kind of, um, I think that that's a really big market where it might you know where I'm getting with this video is that I think eventually the upper academia is not as efficient as it could be, and I think that we're not gonna have. We'll probably still have that because people are still brainwashed into going to college. But I think in if I were to shoot from the hip, I would say 10, 15 years, I don't think people would give it the same type of weight. Me personally, if I when I have kids or whatever, I honestly I don't even know if I want to take them to school, because it's such a first of all you don't know what kind of education they're actually getting, right? You're not there at the school. You don't know all the liberal fucking nonsense that they're learning. You don't know the quality of the teachers because all the fucking union bullshit. You don't know if there's like gang problem or whatever. You don't know the actual quality of the education, everything. There's a lot of regulations and stuff. Like California, like they have to do this, and then they also teach them like evolution, which is the craziest shit. By the way, you know, if you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution and stuff like that, you got to look into that. I took actually a biology class at City College, and the guy was like, "Well, this is what I'm supposed to teach, so I'm just gonna tell you what I'm supposed to teach." That's what he said, and then I took an anthropology class, and the guy actually wrote the book that we were studying, right? And he was like, "Well, I'm just these are fossils that we found. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna connect any dots here. These are just fossils that have been found." It's like technically we can't really account for like how they fit together. All of this is just fossils that we found, right? So the theory that humans evolved from monkeys through mutations in the DNA from generation to generation, you gotta look into that because that's been debunked by geneticists that actually studied the human genome. Yeah, they mapped the genome, the DNA, and they're like, you know what? It didn't really work like that. It didn't really work like that at all. Not the way that you were probably taught in grammar school or whatever. So that's just a big golden nugget out there for you guys. So, anyways, um, so I think the future of education is really going to be independent driven. If you want to study a subject, then you can just go to the fucking library and read about it. Reach out to people who are in the field. I think that the future education is probably going to be more vocational based, probably more internships at companies. It really doesn't make any sense for someone to spend up till they're like what 22, 25 years old and then get a job at a company and then the company then has to teach them shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, why don't we get them when they're 16, intern, work their way up, and in 4 years or whatever when they're 20, I mean they'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Just think about that. Just think about that. Now I'm not saying that people should stop trying to learn about things or whatever. I'm just saying that the way that we're learning this university or K through 12 education system, I think that it's not working. I don't think it's working at all. Like I said, when I have kids, you know what? If I'm making enough money, I'm gonna homeschool them, take them out to you know soccer, or basketball, or whatever. But it's just like, man, I don't like what are they learning at these fucking schools? What are they learning at these fucking schools, man? You just like no way to know. Um, I remember when I was a really young kid. I was a I don't know fourth grade or something like that. I think they wanted to stick me into bilingual class. My mom had to fight me to get me out of bilingual class. I remember, no, maybe 1 through 3. I don't know, something in 1 through 6. My mom had to fight me to get out of bilingual class because they wanted to put all the Spanish speakers and English speakers in the same class or whatever. And it was just like, what the fuck kind of waste of resources is that? Like, how the hell, like that doesn't even make sense, dude. Like, anyways, I mean, if you're up for that, then that's up to you. But like, in my opinion, it's if you're going to school. you should learn how to read and write and think and have some, they should teach them some type of business or finance class where like they know how to manage credit cards and stuff like that, which is just common sense stuff. Like where like why don't we have that common sense stuff? It's always this liberal shit. Liberal shit. I mean, even this like I said, even the sciences, it's just like, sex ed and all this shit. Like why are you like why are we learning about like I remember I took a sex ed class and it was the most horrifying shit that I've ever seen in my life. It was just like pictures of like broccoli dick, cauliflower pussy, all kinds of weird ass nasty shit. And it was just like, did I learn anything from that? I learned that there's a lot of sexual diseases out there, that's for sure. And then, like how to, use condoms and all this shit and that shit. And it's just like, well, okay, fine, But then again, then they had the, like I remember in UCSB, like at the student health center, they had like a little like container, like a mug or whatever. It was like full of condoms, and I remember I was there for I needed to get some type of, I don't know. I was there to see the doctor, whatever. And there was like a guy who comes in, he just like grabbed a whole bunch of condoms and just like left. And I was like, well, that's why your tuition's too high, bro, because this guy he's buying a lot of fucking condoms for the kids. Oh, god damn. It's just what a joke, man. Like, oh man. So it's like we gotta subsidize these kids to have fucking sex so they could get themselves pregnant and like or whatever, and then you know how that goes. Whatever. But my point is that not that there's anything wrong with having sex. I'm just, you gotta be responsible, and that's I guess another point of this video is just like there's just a lack of responsibility and accountability, um, that we have like just to raise our own kids, right? To raise our own kids. Like why can't like like back in the day or whatever, when they had stay-at-home moms and stuff, that was more common. It's like, well, like if you have a stay-at-home mom, then they would have more time to spend with their kids, and I would assume teach them stuff. Like, why can't you teach your own kids how to read and write? Like, why do you have to go to fucking school? I, I don't fucking know. Or why can't you just pay for a tutor? Like if you have money and then you have a tutor, there's a tutor, you can't just pay them money to teach your kids. That's how they used to do it back in the, you know in the kings and stuff, the courts and stuff. They'd send their kids to get, they'd hire a tutor and they would teach their kids. So it's like, why can't we do that? Like why can't we have like private tutors, that more of them, or like I'm sure like if that was a big market and the competition, it's like imagine like the quality of education where it's just like, no, we have like the best tutors and blah blah blah, and we'll teach them this and we'll teach them that. It's like, well, like with the arts, it's like you got to get a singing teacher or a piano teacher. It's like that in the arts, but it's not like that in like other shit. They have tutoring places, but like I'm talking about like, like teach my kid how to like philosophy. Teach my kid philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Teach my kid economics. Or whatever. So those are my thoughts. There are some people I've talked to that are against homeschooling because they said that um, they would not get the same type of social interaction education, and that's a good point. Um, and I guess you know I don't really have an answer to that. Quite frankly. But then again, like, why do you need to have your kids socialize with other fucking idiot kids? That learn. They go to the playground. I learned how to be like a a troublemaker on the playground. I learned all my swear words. I know all my sex, my, all this shit, all my chingaderas on the playground. Well, not all of my chingaderas, but like all that. I learned how to ditch school, learn how to like do pranks. I learned how to you know drug stuff. That was at school. I was fuck. Can you believe that? Anyways, so I don't know, man. I don't think that the education system in America is good as we know it. I think that we need to think about um, being more independent with our education and being more free thinkers with our education, not having to like, I mean, think about it, like a school, like it's like almost, isn't it like against the law to not have your kid at school? Like, they just think about that, and they get paid. The school gets money for how many students they have, right? The funding, is that not? Am I mistaken on that? I mean, they're there for like 8 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? What is it, like 8 to 3 or whatever? And then they got, or eight to, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know, man. Okay, so just think about that. Tell me what you think in the comments, and we'll talk about it. All right, cool. Thanks for watching.